Survival of the fittest. Which telecommunication company will be stable in the near future? One company that is not waiting on fate is government-owned company Telem Group of Companies. Telem and Caribbean telecommunication company Digicel have been engaging in talks and, according to reliable sources, have signed a cooperation agreement to work together. What does this mean for UTS and any other telecommunication company on the island? That is left to be seen. However, Sxmnewsroom understands that the two companies will work together to bring great service to the public. This issue was raised by several MPs during the parliamentary meeting to amend the 2014 budget.
The two instruct the Council of Ministers and thereafter the directors of government-owned companies to be very careful in how they make decisions in terms of signing on or entering into long-term or far-reaching consequences where contracts are concerned. And lo and behold, on Tuesday, we have been made to understand that one of the government has indeed entered into such a contract. The reason why I think this is noteworthy to bring forward is these government-owned companies are 100% ownership of the people of St. Martin. It belongs to the people. It's the people's patrimony. And I think if Parliament unanimously bring the emotion or feeling that such things should be adhered to, I think at some point in time now it's getting to a point where it needs to be adhered to, and Parliament must have some type of respect. That is my belief, and that's what I found it necessary to highlight this. With how our meetings are scheduled, I don't know if we'll have a time to address it, but I think whether the Council of Ministers, or the director of these government-owned companies need to be brought in here and be sat down, and Parliament have to deal with the situation very urgently, because the workers at Telem are calling and they're asking what is going on and who really have the power. So that is just the concern I wanted to air this morning. I thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for this opportunity and for the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable MP Patrick Illich. The hand of Honourable MP Louis Levis.
Mr. Chairman, let me just endorse the concerns put forward by my colleague, and I would want to just simply add to that I hope and believe that at least I would admonish the incoming government to pay keen attention and to have a proper inventory carried out with regards to decisions being made right now that are being made by government-owned companies and some ministries with regards to the fact, or despite the fact, that this Parliament has passed a motion, which I believe is a very meaningful motion, and I hope that the decisions, if they're not within keeping with the desires of Parliament and the motion that was carried out here by a majority in Parliament, then I believe that whatever legal means to reverse decisions that would negatively and have a serious financial impact on be it a government-owned company or government coffers, that regards to legal proceedings, that I believe that jurisprudence would then have would be taken into consideration. And so I would certainly want to advise and impress upon the incoming government to seriously carry out a proper inventory with regards to what kind of impact, be it negative or financially negative impact that these decisions are having on be it government-owned companies and all government coffers. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honourable MP Louis Levis. Honourable MP Franz Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, to the Honourable Minister. Minister, I know you're hearing some of our voices here this morning on the issues that members of Parliament is seriously concerned about. We have taken note as Parliament that while over the years Parliament passed certain legislation decisions in Parliament, these things never got the ear of certain government-owned companies nor ministers or who sits in the position. Today again now, as a new government coming in, we are seeing, Mr. Chairman, a number of things taking place, quick fix, quick decisions making, that has serious consequences to this country. I even understood that the basketball court land that is Fort Willem, that the government now is busy peddling off the land for the young kids in Fort Willem to give it to someone. You're hearing all sorts of issues taking place. While we as Parliament passed the motion, it seems as if the motion was passed on deaf ears. And I'm saying, as partner with the new government, I will be holding all those responsible for these type of decisions that is being taken. I will not sit in a government and just leave things pass by and no one is held accountable. I believe that there is a serious investigation must go down into all that transpired over the last couple of weeks that took place before we as a government start governing the way we would want to. I think if we don't and bring it to the public on the decisions that was taken, then we are just as bad as those who are doing it. So, Mr. Chairman, while I'm very disappointed that our motion seems to be like a drip in water that has no say, but I believe that things will change for the better for this country. That we as a parliament seriously need to look at, while we pass motions and pass legislation in here, and those who don't adhere to it should be dealt with seriously. Because at the end of the day, it's a consequence to the public who has to pay for the wrong. It ain't coming out to those who do it pocket. But sooner or later, we're going to have to make sure that they are held liable for the decisions that they take that is not in the best interests of this country. Mr. Chairman, with saying that, I want to thank you, and I look forward to hearing from the Minister how we're going to move forward with the budget amendment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MP Franz Richardson. Honorable MP Roy Mangan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to the Minister. Mr. Chairman, I want to concur with a statement made by my previous colleagues with reference to the handling of ministers and the handling of managing directors of government-owned companies. While it is customary that when you have a change of government, that the outgoing government will respect the incoming government and do nothing that would harm the operations of the incoming government, it seems like that is not being adhered to. And specifically with regards to the, I don't know if it's a letter of intent or agreement signed between Telem and Digicel to look at the synergies for a possible privatization. In my opinion, something like that could have waited until the new government came in. The motion presented by Parliament, myself as the author of the motion, it needed to be done, and experience has shown in the past that when you have a change of government and government will want to do certain things fast to help friends or whoever they want to help, that as the incoming government, it can be challenged. Jurisprudence shows that it has happened in the past in Curacao, where the outgoing ministers have made certain decisions and the incoming government have come in and was not in agreement with those decisions and have reversed them, and the individuals who those decisions benefited took government to court, and the judge ruled and stated to those individuals, you should have known that based on the fact that you have a change of government, that the decision might not stand. So I urge the incoming ministers, when they come in, to do a review of all decisions that were made, and those decisions that cannot see the light of day, to just reverse them and put the onus by the individual beneficiary of the decision, and let the individual challenge it in courts, because I'm guaranteed that based on jurisprudence, a judge would rule in the favor of government. I thank you.
you very much, Honorable MP Roy Marlin. Honorable MP George Bankaford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They said the last shall be first and the first shall be last. At the expense of sounding superfluous, I just want to also concur with what was stated by former colleagues. And something that has bothered me for many, many years now, lately, especially as a member of Parliament, is the issue of the many motions that were passed by Parliament and never executed by government. And I always got the feeling as if it seems as if the Council of Ministers is more powerful than Parliament. But I believe it had to do mostly with the fragmentation of the coalition, where sometimes decisions ought to be taken, but because it's my minister and it's your minister, things have been stagnated. I hope that now with the new government going into our office and a new coalition, we will not look at who appointed a minister to whatever position. It should be the minister is there to represent the people of St. Martin as an appointed official, and all members of the coalition are going to work together to ensure that whatever motions are passed in Parliament is executed.
Stay with St. Martin Newsroom as we continue to follow this developing story.